German guy didn't call the VR. He didn't call it the Verkuterangen motor. Come on.
We had to fight the save manual for the Mk8 Golf R, and I think we got ourselves a big win here. Is that cool?
And so let's check it out.
The all-new Golf Mk8 R.
Best one ever.
And I think before we get into the details of that, much like the GDI, let's go back to where it all started. Now, it started back in 2003, where a bunch of Wolfsburg engineers from our GmbH said, let's make the fastest Golf ever produced. We know they crammed that legendary 3.2 V6 engine into...
Not just the V6, but the VR6.
The VR6.
Okay, come on. Heinz, I think that was on purpose. I mean, I know someone writes scripts, so I mean that had to be on purpose. Come on. The German guy didn't call the VR. He didn't call it the Verkuterangen motor. Come on. But it was pretty nice little joke there.
Into making a very closely knitted 6-speed transmission with that famous Holdex 4 motion system, and they produced the legendary R32. Now in the US, I think we were lucky to get about 5,000 of those.
5,000 units, 4 colors, 2004 model year. Yeah.
4 colors, and it really became an instant icon.
There's just something about that car that is legendary, and I think with the Mk8, the engineers have taken that feel and elevated it to an all-new place.
Really, I think the Mk8, from our perspective, having driven both this and the Mk7 on Summit Racetrack, it really feels like it separates itself in even a bigger way to the GTI than in the previous generations, right?
Seriously, the difference between a Mk7 and a Mk8 Golf R is huge, and don't let us just tell you that. There's a difference in lap time alone. One of our professional drivers with Volkswagen R was able to best his lap time at the Nürburgring Nordschleife by 19 seconds in a Mk8 Golf R compared to a Mk7 Golf R. So these vehicles are immensely cool, but also with the GTI becoming better and better and better, it became apparent, I think, to VWR that they had to take this R up to a totally different playing field.
Right. Now 19 seconds on the Nürburgring is no slouch. That comes with a little bit of extra horsepower, right?
There is a little bit more. We're up now to above 300 horsepower.
Yay.
315 horsepower with this Mk8 Golf R. 295 pound-feet of torque with the DSG transmission. So it's definitely an improvement.
Sounds like less torque than manual.
Pure numbers. But behind the really big improvements on this car are the chassis development. The DCC, which is the adaptive damping system, is still standard on Golf R. It's been totally recalibrated and optimized for the system. They've shaved nearly 7 pounds of unsprung weight out of the subframe by using aluminum components. So it's just underneath the vehicle to the evolved 4th generation E888 with more horsepower than ever. That makes for a vehicle that just, frankly, leaves the Mk7 Golf R in the dust.
Wow.
Well, I hope so.
Now, before we talk about the brakes and some of those other elements, let's maybe just talk about the design cues on this car.
Cool.
I think we're here at the front, and Megan, obviously quite different to the GTI on the front end.
They're going to have more aggressive air intakes, just a more aggressive front end, front lip. Of course, this car's signature Lapis blue metallic, and you'll notice more blue accents on the Golf R this time around than before. So you'll see,
which I like. It reminds me of the Mark IV R32, which had the Lapis blue and the blue accents in the interior and on the outside. I like this a lot. I'm glad they're bringing this back. Don't get me wrong. Just the demure black and silver worked well for Mark 7, but bringing back the blue, baby.
Obviously the illuminated grille at the top, and then the blue strip, new R logo, blue throughout the headlights, and then we carry the blue and the R accents, and then of course you'll notice the aluminum look mirror caps, which the European model has as well.
And the all-track. Oh!
Finally had it.
Awesome. Now you've said that obviously it's not only about the horsepower, it's about the brakes, it's about the DCC system. Talk to me about these brakes. They look a little larger, they look pretty impressive. I see those signature blue R calipers.
Yes, Hein, your eyes do not deceive you. These are Golf R specific brakes. They are 1 inch larger on the front rotors compared to the Mark 7. They are now not only cross drilled, but they also have 2-piece calipers. So they are a bit of a performance upgrade compared to the Mk8 GTI. The rear brakes do remain the same between the two vehicles.
And these wheels are beautiful. They look large. 19
They are, yes. These are 19-inch wheels. They're standard. Beautiful finish. You'll notice there's a little Easter egg on there. They've got the new R logo kind of hiding on the rim of the wheel, which I think is a cool touch.
It is a cool touch.
Now, one of the things I loved about the Mk7R was it also had an aggressive rear.
Yes.
This one takes it up a notch on the area, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. Let's go take a look at it.
Take a look at the
More
back.
aggressive than a GTI.
One of my favorite parts of the Golf 7R is the rear, the quad exhaust pipe.
Yeah, I love the differentiation of it too.
And this one has got even more aggressive. I mean,
Yes, they're about to talk about the spoiler here, which, you know, I still think that it doesn't have the boy racer look that the R feels like it's been trying to avoid since its inception, and especially in the Mark 7. You know, you got a little bit more extended spoiler, which came on the European model. Now we're getting it in ours too. You still have the really aggressive rear diffuser, you know, but it's still like a little hot hatch. It's not like got all the big wings and stuff on it. Like it's still toned down from what else is out there, but it is toned up from what it was. So I dig it.
I look at the rear, I look at this massive rear diffuser, I look at these big pipes, this large wing. I mean, it really goes next level, right?
Yeah, one of the things that we saw a lot from enthusiasts and dealers and employees about the Golf R when they started seeing the European version is they saw this performance package on the European car that included this much larger rear spoiler. The question kept coming in, is the U.S. car going to have that?
Right.
And we're proud to finally say, like, yes, the U.S. car comes standard with this much larger rear spoiler. And then, Hein, as you pointed out, we've got the gloss black rear diffuser. It is more aggressive than not only the GTI, but also the Mark 7 Golf R. And then your signature quad exhaust. One other thing you'll notice is that there is a full paint finish body kit on the Mark 8, which kind of goes back in time to the Mark 4, Mark 5 R32, as opposed to the Mark 7 Golf R, which had the gloss black body kit. So now you've got a full paint finish, really rounds out the rear view of the vehicle and the entire design.
And for the first time, the R logo no longer on the bottom left, but actually displayed under the Volkswagen badge.
I get used to it.
The horsepower, we've spoken about the new DCC damping system, we've spoken about these large brakes, but I think one of the magic elements of this car is really this new incredible torque vectoring mode, right?
Yeah.
So, Megan, talk to us a little bit about how this torque vectoring mode works and how it shifts the power around.
4Motion all-wheel drive has always been a hallmark of the R32 in the past and the Golf R more recently. Taking it to another level with the Mark 8, still has 4Motion all-wheel drive, but instead of having the Haldex or Borg Warder unit of the past, it's now a Magna unit, multi-plate clutch, and you take the same amount of maximum torque from the front axle, which was 50%, transfer to the rear. Story no longer ends there. You can now take that 50% and thanks to the torque vectoring system in this new diff, you can transfer up to 100% of that power that's been sent to the back to either one of the rear wheels. So not only does that help you steer and corner incredibly more efficiently.
So what it sounds like she's saying is unlike where, like I've seen like some articles reading out saying that, oh, this new 4Motion system, this multi-plate clutch system will be able to transfer 100% of power to one of the wheels, even one of the rear wheels, which I guess is technically true when you explain it the way Megan has. So you've got 50% that can go to the rear wheels, and then, as she said, the story doesn't end there. Then it can torque vector 100% of that 50% to the left or the right side wheel. So just wanted to make that distinction in case anyone was confused. That would be cool to get like almost 300 pound-feet of torque to one wheel. Almost kind of ridiculous if you think about it, but really cool. But 50% of that power and torque, which is, you know, 150 pound-feet, you know, going to one wheel, is still pretty darn strong. Especially when you've got, you know, all these computer controls trying to keep everything level and going in the direction that you want to go. So sounds awesome. Can't wait to really feel it when the Golf R comes in. So, you know, I'm just excited about this new 4Motion system. Like, really, the extra power is great, but, you know, the extra control is really where it's at. That's what makes me go, okay, I want the Mark 8 now. Like, I want it because it has the power and the control and the features, like the sunroof. So,
But it
whoops.
also allows the new Golf R to have 2 additional driving modes that we call drift mode and a special track mode.
All right, we've seen the outside, we've spoken about the engine dynamics, we've spoken about all the drivers and features. Should we jump on the inside and talk a bit about the interior?
Yes, and I'm ready for some air conditioning as well.
The shifter's pretty cool.
So we're
No
in
golf
the
ball, but it's pretty
R. I
cool.
think one thing I failed to mention in the GDR, Megan, are these really cool little cell phone holders at the back, so that is pretty awesome on these beautiful seats. And this has also got that very similar digital experience feel. However, I am noticing a little bit more blue, a little bit more carbon fiber, right?
There's no mistake you're in a Golf R in this vehicle, Hein. Obviously, you've got a similar digital yet connected environment like the new GTI, but it's all R all the time. Steering wheel's slightly different, blue accents everywhere. If it were a GSG model, you're going to have much larger paddle shifters compared to GTI.
Which is pretty cool for those who like
I don't know
that.
if you noticed or not, but there's a special button on the Golf R steering wheel.
Cool.
This little blue R button, talk me a little bit through that.
So if I tap the R button, it transports me to race mode, which opens up a new menu, which gives me access to new drift mode or the special track mode as well.
And you can hear that exhaust note changing immediately as soon as you touch that button.
So that's just cool. I like that.
And
It's like releasing inhibitors.
3 pedals down at the bottom, and I see
Yes.
a big stick shifter
Yes.
here with 6 numbers on it. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, again,
Yes.
we're not deceiving you, Hein. We have scored a 6-speed manual transmission for the Mk8 Golf R. We saw the tremendous amount of success that offering both a manual and a DSG transmission gave to this market with the 7th generation. We had to fight to save manual for the Mk8 Golf R, and I think we got ourselves a big win here, and that only the USA and Canada have a manual transmission Golf R.
And talk to me, these seats are electric.
Isn't that wild? North America, USA, and Canada, only the ones with the 6-speed manual option. So,
On the car, you've got Napa leather seats. They are full power for driver with 3-position memory. You've got ventilated seats, heated seats. The
no
rear
massager.
seats are heated
Boo.
as well, so comfortable year round for everybody. Definitely a nice place to be.
And I see also the Mk8 digital cockpit looks very different to the GTI, right? So that gets its own skin with own special screens.
Yeah, so Digital Cockpit Pro standard here as well in Golf R. Also with a heads-up display, which we'll get to in a moment. But you do have a special R mode, which, as you've noticed, Hein does give you a unique display for the Golf R. But it's fully configurable, just like GTI.
And we didn't talk about that heads-up display in the GTI, but it's optional in the GTI too,
Yep.
right?
So the GTI Autobahn will have the heads-up display, and then of course the heads-up display is standard for Golf R. So you'll see information relating to the speed limit, your active speed, and then if you're using any of the driver assistance systems, like the adaptive cruise control, you can see activity related to the ACC as well.
Now, I'm currently in a Mk7R, and I'd like to ask you what this is over here.
There it is.
Funny you should ask, Hein. This is, of course, a sunroof. We finally have it for a Golf R, and just like GTI, it operates the same way with a simple touch to open or a touch to close.
Wow.
Yeah, just like the 84. And I know here in America, we're forced to have the sunroof in the Golf R. Whereas in some other places across the world, especially our neighbor up in Canada, they have the option of deleting the sunroof, which, you know, I understand it would be cool for someone who don't want the added cost of it, or just don't want the sunroof just for personal reasons, what have you. But there were just a lot of complaints about there being no sunroof in the Mk7 and 7.5 Golf R. So, you know, I think this is Volkswagen responding to the American market, and also, you know, cost as well. So just making it all in way. And you know what? They still gave us the manual transmission. So I think it's pretty cool. I'd rather have a forced sunroof and a non-forced transmission than a forced transmission and an optional sunroof. That's my take.
And Megan, talk to me a little bit just about the offer trim structure. Is this kind of 2 trim, 3 trim, or do we keep
No
it very
way,
simple?
no way. This is one trim, fully loaded. Choose your transmission, choose your color. Have a great day. Enjoy your Golf R.
Fully loaded,
Yep.
all the equipment standard,
Yep.
optional packages.
That's correct.
Right, Megan, there you have it. I think 2 fantastic cars. I think let's maybe sum up the GTI first. We keep with that simple 3 trim structure.
Same 3 trim structure that we enjoyed throughout Mk7 GTI. So S, SE, Autobahn. Throw a couple of packages on our popular SE trim to customize it a little bit more. But with some exciting new color options and a familiar trim structure, I don't think there will be anything too complicated with finding the perfect GTI.
So it's faster, it's got more tech, yet it still keeps that very affordable sub 30 grand price point.
Correct. $29,545 for the 6-speed manual GTI-S for model year 22.
Yes, sub
The winner
30,000.
right out of the gate.
Started.
Super excited about that car.
And then of course, Golf Mk7R put a lot of pressure on this car to get even better. And it's incredible to see how this thing's advanced and how it's even grown this gap to GDI, right?
Yeah, this car, again, winner right out of the gate. You know there's a lot of pent-up demand for both these cars, especially for Golf R being out of market since 2019 model year.
And of course, I think one of the really cool things is all those cool features that Europe used to get that we never got, now all in this car, right?
I do really feel like we've done as best job as we could with this initial model year 22 brand new car, bringing over as much European content as we could compared to any generation in the past. And that's something that we want to listen to our dealers and listen to our customers and continue to do for these vehicles, which are at the heart of our brand for our most enthusiastic customers. Fourth quarter Hein, they're coming in as soon as we can get them here, and we're really excited about that. I know there's a lot of pent-up demand for both models, so fourth quarter is when they will be arriving.
Awesome. Megan, it's been great sharing the stage here with you today.
Likewise.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome video. Here's my take on the all-new Mark 8 GTI and R. Of course, I've got a Mark 7.5 by him here. It's a 2020 in a dark iron blue. It's the S with Clark Plaid interior, so I'm glad that that's staying, the Clark Plaid interior on the GTI. I'm glad we're getting rid of these halogen headlights, going all LED on the GTI. It's about darn time. And I'm glad that on the Golf R we're going to get the all painted body kit, meaning that that very bottom of the vehicle we painted the same color, unlike this GTI that you can see here. So that's very exciting. Of course, I'm in love with the fact that the Golf R is getting a sunroof. Of course, I'm in love with the fact that the 4Motion is getting upgraded with the torque vectoring system, allowing the new drag modes and stuff like that, and track mode. You know, I'm just excited that there's so many wins that were in there that Megan went over that I didn't know were things to be contested, if you will. And so that's been very good to know that, you know, we got the manual transmission here in North America, where in Europe it's DSG only, with the Golf R. And to know that we got the European seats in the GTI. And that we've got so many great things going for us going into the Mark 8, and knowing that, you know, just like the Mark 7 when it debuted in 2015, came out a phenomenal package on a new MQB platform at the time, and it just really kicked butt. And then just the next year that came out in 2016, which that's when I arrived in 2015 for the 2016 model year here at Talmadge Volkswagen, you know, it really stepped up the interior technology with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and then driver assist features started becoming more available after that. So, you know, we can only imagine how much further the Mark 8 will go until we get to 8.5, just like we got to 7.5 here with the Mark 7. So again, folks, thanks so much for watching. I just wanted to give you my final thoughts. I'm excited to see these new Mark 8s coming in, and just be patient, folks. We've got the impact of COVID-19, and combined with the impact of COVID-19 impacting the semiconductor and the chip shortage, it's all a perfect storm for vehicles to not be coming out on time. So I just ask for your patience out there, for those of you waiting on the Mark 8 Golf GTI or R, and just know that we want these cars here as much as you do. You know, and especially myself being a resident enthusiast here at Talmadge Volkswagen Indianapolis, I really want to have this car for you here, and I want to have this car so I can enjoy it for myself too. And maybe one day I'll get myself into one of these Mark 8s, but until then, we'll be in the Mark 7 all track. And so thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your guy Johnny Yard here at Talmadge Volkswagen Indianapolis. Stay tuned for more updates on the Mark 8 GTI and R, and of course any other Volkswagens coming out. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.